Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Divedi and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of last segment. Which of the following is the main objective of KV Kamath Committee appointed by the RBI? Refinancing the debt in the agriculture sector, one-time restructuring of corporate loans, minimizing the circulation of printed notes and promoting digital transactions, accelerating merger of public sector banks. So I hope you have answered it correctly in the comment segment. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is KV Kamath Committee has been appointed for one-time restructuring of corporate loans. As we all know, rising NPAs, because of rising non-performing assets, it is becoming very necessary for having a one-time restructure of corporate loans so that debt service can be done and because of that economy can be boosted, right? So, the RBI has set up a committee headed by KV Kamath on restructuring of loans impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Objective: the committee is tasked to recommend parameters for one-time restructuring of corporate loans. It may be asked in your prelims exam. So, is it a one-time restructure or multiple times restructure? This could be distorted in a way. So, you have to be very careful with that it is just a one-time restructure. Right, moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements with reference to Pattachitra. These paintings are based on Hindu mythology and specially inspired by Jagannath and Vaishnava sect. All colors used in the paintings are natural. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer to this question is C, that is both 1 and 2. During his recent Mann Ki Baat program, the Prime Minister cited the example of Bhagyashree Sahu, who is a young student from Rourkela in Odisha, for her keen interest in Pattachitra painting. Patta means cloth and Chitra means picture. Hence, Pattachitra is a picture painted on a piece of cloth. It is based in the states of West Bengal and Odisha as well. In Bengal, it is centered around Kali Ghat, that's in Kolkata. Theme is not very devotional. Alright, in Odisha, it is centered around Puri. Almost all of the Chitrakar community hails from a very small village in Puri district called Raghurajpur. These paintings are based on Hindu mythology and especially inspired by Jagannath and Vaishnava sects. All colors used in the paintings are natural in nature. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements with reference to the National E-Vidhan Application Project. It is a central sector scheme included in the Digital India program. Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs is the nodal ministry for its implementation in all the states, UTs with legislatures. Now you have to choose that which of the statements given above is or are incorrect. 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So, the correct answer to this question is A, that is 1 only. Only the first statement is incorrect and the second statement is true. Moving on to the explanation. The E-Vidhan is a mission mode project included in the Digital India program. Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs is the nodal ministry for its implementation in all states and union territories with legislatures. Funding of NEVA is on the pattern of central sponsored scheme, that is 60:40 ratio and 90:10 for North, East and Hilly Station and 100% for Union territories. Moving on, the funding for E-Vidhan is provided by the MOPA and technical support by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Be very careful with the dissection of the program as well, dissection of any mission as well, because it may ask in a reversed manner. Alright, moving on, let's talk about our next question. Consider the following statements with reference to ethylene glycol. It is a synthetic liquid which is odorless and is used to make antifreeze and de-icing solutions for cars, airplanes and boats. It has a sweet taste and is often accidentally or intentionally ingested. It can be disseminated through indoor air, water, food, outdoor air and agricultural products as well. So, disseminated means to spread. Alright, it means to spread. Can it be spread? You have to see that. Moving on, let's look at the options. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 and 2 only, 3 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer to this question is D. D, that is 1, 2 and 3. So, ethylene glycol is an industrial compound found in consumer products including automotive antifreeze, hydraulic brake fluids, some stamp paddings, ballpoint pens, solvents, paints, plastics, films and cosmetics, and is also used as a pharmaceutical vehicle. It is a synthetic liquid which is odorless and is used to make antifreeze and de-icing solutions for cars, airplanes and boats. Alright, moving on. Let's talk about ethylene glycol, which has a sweet taste and is often accidentally or intentionally ingested. Once ingested, ethylene glycol is chemically broken down into toxic compounds. That's not good for health. These byproducts then affect the central nervous system, the heart and the kidneys as well. CDC says that the ingestion of sufficient amounts can be fatal in nature. Ethylene glycol, it can be disseminated through indoor air, water, food, outdoor air and agricultural products. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following countries shares border with Chile? Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay, Peru. Select the correct answer using the following codes: 1 and 2 only, 3 and 4 only, 1 and 4 only, 1, 2 and 4 only. So, the correct answer to this question is C. That is 1 and 4 only. It shares its borders with Bolivia and Peru. So, if you look at this following map, you can see that there is Chile having its borders with Bolivia, Peru, Paraguay as well. Alright, so Santiago is the capital of Chile. Be very careful with that, and it is a part of this particular country is a constituent of the lithium triangle as well. Lithium triangle is a triangle where lots of lithium reserves are found. The triangle includes Argentina, Bolivia and Chile as well. Alright. So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke about the popularity of yoga in Chile and appreciated the Latin American nation's love for Indian culture. Moving on. Consider the following statements with reference to COVID-19 Performance Index. It was published by WHO for the first time recently. The index is based on 6 different indicators including confirmed cases and deaths per million people and the scale of testing as well. Publicly available and comparable data on COVID-19 response was used for this index. So, which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer to this question is B, that is 2 and 3 only. The second and the third statements, both the statements are correct. The COVID-19 Performance Index has been put together by the Lowy Institute, which is an Australian think tank. The index seeks to gauge the relative performance of countries. The index is based on 6 different indicators, which includes confirmed cases and deaths per million people and the scale of testing as well. Publicly available it is, and it has a comparable data on COVID-19 response. It was used for this index, and countries were sorted into broad categories on the basis of regions, political systems, population size and economic development as well. This was done to determine the variations that may have existed in the way different nations handled the pandemic. China was excluded from the list due to lack of publicly available data. So, if we talk about the public availability of data, if we talk about China specifically, China is said to have concealed the actual number of infections and hence the actual number of deaths. So, that is why China has been kept out of the ambit. Alright, moving on. Let's look at the next question. Consider the following statements with reference to World Gold Council. It works across all parts of the industry from gold mining to investment, and their aim is to stimulate and sustain demand for gold. It is an association whose members comprise the world's leading gold mining companies. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So, the correct answer to this question is C, that is both 1 and 2. World Gold Council is the market development organization for the gold industry. It works across all parts of the industry, from gold mining to investment, and their aim is to stimulate and sustain demand for gold. It is an association whose members comprise the world's leading gold mining companies. It helps to support its members to mine in a responsible way and help also develop the conflict-free gold standard. Headquartered in the UK, they have offices in India, China, Singapore, Japan and the United States. Moving on, let's talk about our next question. Future Investment Initiative Forum is related to Saudi Arabia, European Union, ASEAN, Japan. The correct answer to this question is A, that is Saudi Arabia. Moving on, the FIF was announced in September 2017 by the Public Investment Fund, Saudi Arabia's main sovereign wealth fund, in the context of the Saudi Vision 2030 economic and social reform program. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. If we talk about the Future Investment Initiative, is widely described as Davos in the desert. It is Saudi Arabia's flagship investment conference. Moving on, let's talk about our next question. Sigur Plateau is located in east of Mishmi Hills, north of Satpura Hills, west of Aravalli Hills, north of Nilgiri Hills. So, the correct answer to this question is D, that is north of Nilgiri Hills. Moving on to the explanation. Sigur Plateau is a plateau in the north and east of Nilgiri district in the Nilgiri Hills of Tamil Nadu, South India. It covers the 778.8 square kilometers portion of the Moyar River drainage basin on the northern slopes of the Nilgiri Hills south of Moyar River. Moving on to our next question. Consider the following sentences about Great Reset Initiative. It is an initiative by the World Bank. It is based on the assessment that the world economy is in deep trouble. Now you have to choose that which of the above sentences is or are correct. One only, two only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer to this question is B, that is 2 only. Moving on. So recently the Prime Minister addressed the World Economic Forum's Davos Dialogue via video conferencing. The WEF annual meeting in Davos, that's in Switzerland, engages the world's top leaders to shape global, regional and industry agendas. The Davos Dialogue's agenda marks the launch of WEF's Great Reset Initiative in the post-COVID world. So if we talk about a post-COVID world, what do we exactly need? We need coordination, cooperation, coherence and also an integrated approach in order to re-establish global trade, supply and demand chain that was distorted because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and before that because of the trade war existing between the United States and China. These need to end. These need to be reset. And that is why the Davos Dialogue right now is of great importance. Alright, you have to keep in mind the important initiatives that have been taken in the Davos Dialogue. So it is based on the assessment that the world economy is in deep trouble. The situation has been made a lot worse by many factors, including the pandemic's devastating effects on global society and the unfolding of technological revolution, and also the consequences of climate change. Moving on to the next question. Healthy States Progressive India report is released by Niti Aayog with technical assistance from the United Nations Development Programme, Niti Aayog with the technical assistance from the World Bank, Niti Aayog with the technical assistance from Tata Trust, and Niti Aayog with technical assistance from WHO. The correct answer to this question is B, that is Niti Aayog with technical assistance from the World Bank. Healthy States Progressive India report has been developed by Niti Aayog with technical assistance from the World Bank and in consultation with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It ranks states and union territories innovatively on their year-on-year incremental change in health outcomes as well as their overall performance with respect to each other. Moving on, let's look at the practice question for our next segment. Salam Infuser has been seen in news related to air pollution, vaccine development for COVID-19, exoplanet explored by NASA, newly added pollutant in Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants. So, I hope you will be able to answer it correctly in the comment segment. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.